time again for the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge, brought to you by American Car Care Centers in conjunction with C&8 and the International Candlepin Bowling Association. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to our championship show. Here's the Woburn Bowlerdrome. John Holt with Dan Murphy, the top three bowlers from the season gone by with us today, vying for that top prize of $5,000.
That's right. That's the top story. Who's going to win the $5,000? Well, we have so many subplots to this show and three great competitors. We got the hottest bowler around, probably. There you see the prize list. We got the hottest bowler around in Craig Holbrook, won 6 on our show. He's Pro Bowler of the Year. He's the only person that accomplished the triple strike. So if no one does that today, he's going to take home an extra $1,000 for that. He wins 6 in a row. Who does he get beat by? But our number 1 seed, John Bird. And when John beats him, he establishes a score of 304 to make the show. And then we have a 3rd seed, a guy named Jeff Surette. Jeff Surette won the big show last year. We've never had a repeat winner, let alone a consecutive year winner. So there's so many subplots. It's going to be a great week.
A lot on the line as we wind down Season 5 in the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge. We'll meet the number 1 seed in just a second, but first the challengers. Standing by with Trina Fernandez.
Thank you very much, guys. I am here with Jeff Surette and Craig Holbrook, and there are 2nd and 3rd seeds, actually 2nd and 3rd seeds. Jeff, we'll start with you. You squeaked it in there. You have the chance to be the first repeat champion on the show, and not to mention back-to-back years if you win today. Little pressure?
No, not really. I'm just going to go out and bowl my game and see what happens.
Now, you guys are saying you're not nervous. You're both telling me you're not nervous. I'm finding this really hard to believe. You really not nervous?
No, not nervous. Just bowling.
Just bowling. A little extra money on the line today, though, right?
Yeah, a little bit. It's nice.
Well, you were telling me earlier that you have a little extra incentive today to win. What's that?
Yeah, tomorrow is my dad's 2-year anniversary of passing, and it'd be nice to win for him.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd love to do that for his memory and for your family as well.
Yeah, that'd be real nice.
That'd be great. Well, good luck to you today. It's hard to call you guys challengers. You've been the champions both for so long. And Craig, you were our champion the longest this season. You held that on a roll for quite some time. You were able to pull things out of your bag of tricks when you needed to. Are you hoping to have that today?
I'm hoping to, yeah. Usually, I'm hoping I don't wait till the very end, but I think we hide our nervousness well to get back to that question. You know, maybe we are a little, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, no matter how you slice it, this is going to be a really exciting match today. There's a lot of good talent here. Jeff is really good, so hopefully I can stay with him. We'll see how we do.
Well, you're both really talented. What's your strategy for today?
Beat him by 1.
I like that. That's a good strategy. Well, you said you had the advantage of going after him.
I get to go last, yeah, so I'm either going to be way down and have to come back, or maybe I'm ahead and I can cruise in. We'll see what happens.
At least you have the luxury of knowing what you need.
That's right, yeah.
Right.
That's a good luxury, actually.
Right. Well, both of you are going to need to bowl well today. We wish you both luck. Now we'll head back over to John and Dan.
Trina, thank you. A bird was the word as the top guy this season, 304. Now you're in a position to wait and watch. You'll take on one of the challengers for that big prize.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match between those two guys. They're two top-notch guys, great bowlers. You know, they're top-notch guys. So it'll be fun to watch that. You know, they're terrific.
You reminded me before we started today, you had a 2-box late in that 304 game. You could have posted 310 or more. You're really hot.
I was really hot, but when I threw that 2-box at the time, I thought Craig Holbrook was going to get me that day, the way he was bowling. So I was lucky to survive that, and it's great to be here with that 304.
It is going to be terrific today. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Very competitive, a great crowd on hand. We appreciate their attendance and you watching at home. Back with the start of the Challengers match right after this on C&8. After 36 weeks, it comes down to this. One show to crown one champion for $5,000. Welcome back to the Woburn Bowlerdrome. Glad you are with us. We're all set for the Challengers match. Jeff Surette, the reigning champ from a year ago, will go first. A one-game Challengers match, so crucial with the big money on the line.
It certainly is, and especially today. You can't leave anything in the bowling bag. They got to just come out firing and hope they can survive this Challengers match to get into that championship round. And Jeff drops 9, leaves the 5-pin. If their warm-ups are any indication, we're going to see some big scores. There were strikes and spares flying all over the place in warm-ups.
Oh, slides to the left. He'll be open in the first. The winner of the Challengers match, guaranteed $2,500, could win the $5,000, and the loser Gets a good paycheck, too, of $1,000. So for Jeff, it's a 9-box to open with. Told me beforehand that should you go open the first 2, it becomes a real grind in the 10-box game, the one game. So he wants to mark right here.
Well, if he does, it's going to be a great one. 3, 6, 10 on the right with a 4, 7. Piece of wood in front of the 4, 7, and another one behind the 3, 6, and 10. You see a good shot of the pin cam. Tries off the wall, and he gets it. My! Not textbook, but it works.
That's the reason a guy like Jeff Surette is here for this final show. A very skilled Candlepin bowler.
Plays everything off the wall. And that's basically the 3-pin coming around for the 4, and then finally the 7.
Now we say hello to Craig Holbrook. Lean 35. Takes out 5. 6. Maybe 7. You bet.
All of a sudden, almost near impossible shot becomes very, very makeable in the 2, 4, and 10 with wood in front of the 2 and the 4. Oh, wow.
That 10 won't go.
Piece of wood came flying just to the left of that 10-pin, but never touched it. So both bowlers opportunities in the first box, but pair of 9s.
Now he's opposite that dramatic spare from Jeff Surette in the second.
Watch the piece of wood fly next to the 10-pin. Right there, right around it. Pretty unlucky on that shot.
Lane 36, then a 7-pin drop.
He'll shoot at the triangle, 3, 5, and 6, trying to match the spare put up by Jeff in the second.
Yes, he does. Even Steven through 2. Craig, the Pro Bowler of the Year, is having a heck of a season.
He certainly is. WCBC Pro Bowler of the Year, and that's quite an honor. That's the top pinfall for 5 out of 6 of 10-string tournaments, and he beats out the entire field. Also won the New Hampshire State Singles Championship.
Jeff with the fill of 7, second ball, looking for a second mark, can't get it.
When Craig comes up again, I'll tell you what he hit in that singles on New Hampshire. Incredible score, 5 games. 36 after 3 for Jeff Surette.
Getting 6 to go.
Diamond leave, 2, 4, 5, and 8. Difficult spare. Anytime you have that sleeper in the back, in this case, the 8-pin.
So 4 boxes and 1 mark for Jeff. Leaves the pin standing that time. Each and every one important, of course. This is just the one game to determine who advances to meet John Burr, the number 1 seed, waiting in the wings right now, as a Bird often does.
Craig missing the head pin, drops 6. 4 horsemen to the right.
Goes around the 6 and the 10.
Needs both of these to... Well, he's actually going to find himself down by a couple.
Now he's opposite the open box, the 9 box there in the 4th. Craig would love to win the $5,000, of course. But he tells me he's just glad he's being paid to have fun either way. Loves Candlepin and loves being on the show.
Everything but the head pin. Missed the object pin. Can gain 1 in count. He's opposite a 9 box by Jeff Surette. That score he hit in the New Hampshire State Singles, folks. You ready? You can do the math. 760. 760
wow.
For 5 games.
One ball. Get it in there.
Jeff now in the 5th. Boy, looking for a first strike.
Buried that one, leaves himself a tough spare leave in the 5 and 7. going to try to cut the 5 on the right-hand side and see if he can jump it into the 7. Ooh. Well, you heard the crowd. That's how close he was.
That's his third 9-box over 5 frames. Jeff began bowling when he was 1½, and he now has a daughter, Carly, who's 14 months.
There's another test on a single pin. He had the 5-pin up the very first box, but with a difficult piece of wood. He's got a clear shot at the 7-pin this time in the 5th, or actually the 6th frame. Took a little extra time.
He missed it. Telling himself to calm down. Rein things in a little bit.
This is the best of the best, too. I'll tell you, the Butterflies can get even these bowlers, the seasoned veterans. A lot on stake.
So Craig with another opportunity to take advantage of Jeff not being able to mark.
Spread eagle.
3, 6, 10, 2, 4, 7, of course. Same spot. So that's a 6.
If you're wondering how Greg arrived, here's what he did this year. Beat John Zappi, 116, 113, and then, of course, established the score for this final show. Dave Susi, Dave Chestercove, and on down the line before losing to our #1 seed, John Bird. So, quite an impressive
6 in a row.
Yes.
Terrific run. Good spot here to pick up a spare in the 6th. Looking at 1 pin. Got the wood, but not the pin.
Boy.
Now, Craig likes being in that position going second so he can react to what Jeff does, but so far he hasn't taken advantage of it. Down 4, 64 to 60. 4 boxes remaining.
Almost had our first strike there, but another single pin, folks. Now, he just missed one the box prior to the 7-pin. This is the 5. And he nails it this time. How did Jeff get here? Wasn't quite a long a road as Craig, but there you see, losing the first match early in the season, then finally getting on the show, establishing the 292, and then beating D'Agostino and Alberghini before losing to Keith White, and a big 9-pin drop on his spare.
Took out 9 with that first ball, so that filled it up with 9.
Now that piece of wood just rolled against the 6-pin, so you know that probably will cover it. But he has a choice. He has a clear shot. There's a great shot of the choices he has. Red line on that piece of wood or go right at the 6-pin. Let's see what he does. There's the confidence for you.
Coming alive. Consecutive marks, 7 and 8 for Jeff Surette.
He took all the wonder of will the wood carry it right out and shoot right at the single. That's telling you that he's got a little more confidence now. And Craig is going to have to match. Ooh, light hit. Let's see. Looks like he should have had a better break than that. 2-4-7 on the left, 6-10, but an ugly piece of wood in front of the 2.
Oh, he got it somehow. Good thing. Come to those who wait. There's Exhibit A, folks.
That ugly piece of wood turned into a swan. Watch this. Piece of wood took out the 6 and 10 and came across for the 7 and then finally the 4.
Back live. That's a fill of 7.
Looking at the 1, 3, and 6. Trying to match spares. Ooh, full on the head pin.
So the advantage to Jeff Surette heading into the final 2 boxes. He's up by 6 plus this ball.
Now he's thinking get the lead into double figures, force Craig to get at least 2 marks in the final 2.
Got a fill of 8.
2 and 4. This would be huge, obviously. Sometimes I like to play Captain Obvious, you know, if he gets another mark. No kidding. People at home say, no kidding, Dan. This would be huge. And he's got it, 3 in a row.
Finding his game at the perfect time.
Oh, yeah. Strike in the end.
Earns 2 more balls.
Take a look at this. 8 pin, the final pin to go down. 4 consecutive marks.
Well, Craig Holbrook may not make it past this round, but at least his triple strike pool is intact. $1,000 bucks. $140 the score for Jeff, and what a terrific finish.
Oh, he's going to have to throw a strike. And a few more after that, but one at a time. But he needs a strike to keep his hopes alive.
No, sir.
Nope. You heard somebody in the audience say that's it. I think he needed a strike there to keep his hope alive. So it's going to be Jeff Surette, our defending champ, in this. Moving on, even if Jeff were to throw a strike here, we give him 107 and 30, and the last would be 137. He'd fall short.
They relieve Jeff Surette as we take a second look at Craig's spare. Fill of 8. Jeff Surette at 64 through 6, and what do you know, 140 when it's all said and done.
Well, you know, I was watching is that he missed a single in the very first box. He looked a little shaky, and he went by another a single. But then in the 6th box, he nailed the 6-pin where he had a chance to play the wood. At that point, I said, no, he's got his confidence back, and look what he did when on the finish. 4 marks in a row.
Sure enough, a 25-pin victory for the defending champ. Can he repeat? We'll begin to find out with Game 1 next versus John Bird here on CNN8. Back and ready for the championship match. 2-game championship match. John Bird, the number 1 seed, to go first, taking on the bowler you just saw win the Challengers match, and Jeff Surette, 140 to 115 winner over Craig Holbrook. John earned that number 1 seed with the top 2-game total of the season at 304. There he goes, lane 35. Dropped 6 to begin with.
Yes, that means Craig Holbrook will take home 3rd place prize with $1,000, but you could get another $1,000 bonus if neither of these bowlers throw a triple strike.
The runner-up in this match will get $2,500. Of course, the winner twice that at $5,000, our top prize. So it's a 9-box for John Bird. He is from Adams, Massachusetts, the western corner of the state. One of the more flamboyant bowlers we have in the program. Oh, there you go, showing some emotion. Happy with himself after the strike in the 2nd.
1-2 pocket, 5-10, last 2 to go. That'll get rid of a few butterflies for John.
To Jeff, he dropped 7. Boy, did he come on strong, and that went over Craig Holbrook, 7 through 10, the final 4 box. And he keeps it going in the first box of Game 1 with a mark.
See a replay of that. Yeah, 76. He had 64 pins the first 6 boxes, and he had 76 the last 4. He drops 9 on that spare. Two in a row.
He was the champ a year ago, walked away with the $5,000. Came in handy at the time as he was getting a new apartment, he tells us, and of course he'd love to have that big paycheck again. Here's the fill for John after the strike.
A little heavy, leaves himself to 3-6 on the right with a 4-pin. some exciting changes for you people watching the show next year. We're going to increase. This year we had bonus money for that purple stripe. Well, we're going to have bonus money for 3 consecutive marks. $50 for 3 consecutive marks starting next season, and $50 for every consecutive mark in that string for the bowlers to shoot for, so they'll give them some extra incentive.
Looking forward to that.
And
So John is open there in the 3rd.
another exciting thing we're going to do, and you should show up for our tapings, because we're going to draw a name out of the audience, and they're going to get up and bowl 1 box on camera, folks. You're going to have your 15 seconds of fame. 9 or less, we'll give you $1 per pin. If you get a spare, we'll give you $50. But if you meet the strike challenge, you can throw a strike up there, we're going to give you $100. And if no one throws a strike, that pool is going to increase by $25 a week. Oh, a great shot by John Bird. So more incentive to show up for our tapings next year, folks. You see the 1, 2, 9, and 10. Very nicely done for his second mark. And Jeff is, on a streak. Oh, my.
Spare, and a strike, and that's just his game.
That's 7 consecutive marks going back to that Challengers match. Looking for the double.
And the crowd is all wrapped up in the Jeff Surette story right now.
Tough angle of that wood. Got to come up high in the wood.
So the run of marks will end at 7, dating back to game 1, but
fantastic start to this first game of the championship match, though. 66 after 4 boxes.
21 to pin advantage minus this ball coming up from John Bird after he had that spare in the 4th. Now, working in box 5.
Big 9-pin drop on that spare. 6-pin all by itself.
Mixed to the right.
Climbs back to within 12 pins of Jeff, though, with that 9-pin drop on the spare.
Being from Western Massachusetts, John says he doesn't often get to test himself versus some of the better bowlers from New Hampshire and Eastern Mass. And doesn't always know that he belongs, but he says a performance like that, 304, convinced him.
Absolutely. Half Worcester left. Still looking at 5 pins with his 3rd ball. Wants to stay away from the bad frame.
And he's going to have a rough one, a 6 box. Could have been worse, but 6 more to get the score to 70. Chance for Jeff Surette with a mark or 2 to really start putting some distance between himself and the #1 seed.
He is just in one pocket or the other, the 1-2 or the 1-3. This time, 1-2. Scrambles everything but the 5-pin. Safe to say he's in a zone right now.
Absolutely. 8 marks over the last 9 boxes for Jeff.
Jeff Mom cramps are in the front row. Oh, my! Strike on spare.
Let's take a look before we go to break. And, boy, this just may be Jeff Surette's day. The strike in box 6. 5 marks so far in the opening game of the championship match. Back with more after this on CNH.
Do you remember fun? You know, lots of laughter, jumping up and down. If you want to experience fun again, you'll find it at your local Candlepin Bowling Center. That's where you'll find plenty of parties and good times.
Visit Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord for your next birthday party, corporate party, or for great family fun. Visit our website for more information.
It's Candlepin, and it's better than ever.
Let's go. Good times roll.
So far, it's been Jeff Surette in the championship match. John Burt, though, certainly has the ability to rally in this one. And as we take a look, here's his road to the final show.
Yeah, he wasn't here long, but he made a statement while he was here, winning, of course, the Challengers match against Jeff, and then, of course, the big score against Craig Holbrook, and he needed it. Craig Holbrook had a 291. Beat Rich Clark and then losing to Ron Pelletier, but that 304 was a classic.
Looks a little shaken, I think, by the early start from Jeff, but let's see what he can do to respond. Right now it's a 26-pin advantage, but Surette just had a strike in the 6th, so stay tuned for more pins from him in a minute. But first John, now in the 7th.
Oh, boy, the inverted triangle. If we can get a shot at the pin cam, I'm not sure if those two pins are, well, better that they're there than not, but going to have to play the wood on the left, I'm sure. Oh, it went right between the 6 and the 9, I believe. Yeah, there's no defense in this game, and of course Jeff has only had one open frame. So unless you're keeping pace with him, boy, it's going to be very difficult. Let's see what happens with that piece of wood. Oh, yeah, he did have a chance. Why don't you go right between this? Right between. There's no luck there. Right between the 6 and the 9. All I had to do is catch one or the other. Probably would have taken both of them out.
Leave 2 pins and some wood here in the 8th.
Again, a little rough luck with the wood. As we just said, it went right between the 6 and the 9. And this time, very difficult shot. It's got to come up the right-hand tip of that wood, turn it, and drive it back. He did what he had to do. Didn't carry the 8.
So 8 boxes complete. Just 2 marks for John. Strike in the 2nd, spare in the 4th, and he is at 90. This is Jeff after a strike in his last frame. Whoops, badly that time.
You know, I just love this kid's head. Look at him. He's laughing. He said, wow, what was that? Kind of scratches his head, doesn't get upset, and that's what makes him so good. Mom and Dad have brought him up right. Just an even keel all the time up there. You don't know if he's 50 pins ahead or 50 pins behind. Pretty good out.
Asked him about that beforehand today and told me it's just bowling. Just don't take it too seriously, but obviously he's successful. And
it's just a game.
Because of his professional life, for working for Federal Express, he only gets to bowl really once a week by the time he gets out of work. Still very good with his skills.
Leaves himself to 3-6 in the right, 7-8 in the left-hand corner. He's human. He has 2 open frames, John. It's been a while since he's done that.
Little hope for John Bird as the lead falls to 32. Bird needs a couple marks there, 9 and 10.
He really
send
does.
a message.
Right. Give Jeff something to think about. Get some of that deficit back going into that 3rd game.
Drop 6.
That'll go, John. That'll go. Show us a shot. That's it.
That is a 9. Pin shy of the century mark now. Six down, 4 up.
And again, not a good piece of wood resting next to the head pin. You see the problem he has.
Can't seem to catch a break.
You know, I talked to John, I talked to all the bowlers before the taping, and just to remind them when it is and when to be here and everything. And I talked about the match that he got beat, and he had a pretty low score. But I told him, I said, you know, you didn't bowl that badly. He said, you know, Dan, I think you're right. I thought I hit a couple. The same thing seems to be happening today. Throwing a pretty good ball, but he's getting bad pieces of wood. Doesn't give him a real good shot at the marks. And meanwhile, his opponent is just buzzing along here.
4 horsemen right, 1 in the back.
Nothing is sacred out there. Mercy. What a shot. Off the wall and carries the 8-pin.
His final box now in the first game.
Light hit, scrambles 8, leaves a 7-10. Yeah, you can hear people say, come on over, Wood. He's taking a real good look at that. The farther that pin comes over, the better. And he has a real good shot at this. Red line or above. Wood should take the 10. Ball continue through the other pieces of wood for the 7.
Got it. Wow, this kid is hot.
Take a look at it. Right on the red line. Actually, the ball went airborne and took the 7 out. It's at 150 plus the ball.
Gets him 5 more, 155. That's a big lead. 47 pins. John Bird with his work cut out for him. We're back with game 2 after this on CNH. Welcome back. All set for game 2. Jeff Surette with a big lead of 47 pins on John Bird. It was about 2 years ago when Jeff lost his dad, Tom, who has been an inspiration for him. He was always an inspiration, even more so after his passing, and he has a tattoo to remember his dad. Thinks about his dad constantly, he says, when he's bowling, and certainly he's been inspirational the last 2 seasons. He actually won the championship last year on the year anniversary of his dad's passing, and is about to pay tribute to him again today with another victory.
I was fortunate enough to bowl against his dad, know his dad real well, and his mom, and just a great family and a great young man. And a pretty good bowler. Just made this spare a couple blocks ago in that first string. Oh, this time it flies it behind the 8-pin, doesn't carry it.
$10 instead.
Drops 9. Just the 7-pin. And let's take a look at this piece of wood because it could cause a problem. Could go roll left of the red line, have the ball come off the wall, or turn the wood up on the right. Now he was in between. He turned around immediately when he threw the ball. He knew he wasn't where he wanted to place the ball to have a chance of making that 7-pin. Gets it for a 10, pair 10.
John Bird is going to need a string of marks to make this interesting.
That's what I was talking about. That piece of wood was coming off the wall. Would have knocked 1 or 2 down. The second piece of wood stopped it on him. Again, an inverted triangle. Piece of wood that should help him, though, on the 4, 5, and 8. No. A little too high in the wood. Wanted to sweep it from right to left.
Gets his own 10 box, but it's going to have to gain. Can't stay pin for pin with Jeff at this point.
It needs to start marking right now.
John's emotion is taking a little bit of a hit because he's down, but certainly one of the more colorful bowlers we have on the show. Of course, it starts with that last name, that memorable last name. He's got the yellow bowling balls to go with it. In fact, tells me he has a Bird 33 Massachusetts license plate, vanity plate, that he got back in Larry Bird's rookie season, 1978, and he's had it ever since. If you see Bird 33 tooling around out in Western Mass, John Bird at the wheel. Well, back to the reigning champ.
I wonder if Craig Holbrook is cringing every time he throws one of these. He's going to take a few bucks out of my pocket if he throws 2 more.
Craig right now has all 1,000 bucks. Triple strike for him. Won't happen right now.
The 1, 6, and 10, the piece of wood nestled against the head pin, but it's a difficult shot, but he makes these look easy. No, just wanted to catch a piece of that wood and slid by without touching it. Got the 6, 10, now you'll check out the head pin.
Back to John, who is more than due for a mark. More than due to have some luck go his way.
He's gone 8 consecutive frames going back to the last game without a mark. 10 pin is not going to go. Not today. You can try to drive the ball straight through the wood in front of the 4-7. Hopefully the ball will take it, and possibly the wood take out the 10 pin. To the right.
So the overall lead right now at 58 pins. John in the 4th. Here's a good chance.
Well, it was. Yeah, tough piece of wood again. He's even starting to smile like, what is happening here?
Push it right in.
The bowling gods are not with me. Tough piece of wood next to the 2 pin.
That's it.
You got it. Made a tough shot look very easy.
Jeff here in the 5th.
Interesting lead. 2, 5, 7, 8, and 10. Piece of wood could help him with 10.
Fix both of them up for a 2nd straight 10 box.
Sometime with a big lead like that, you kind of get lackadaisical. You don't press as much, and all of a sudden the guy throws a couple strikes. You got to try to talk to yourself, saying, "Look, make believe this match is nip and tuck, and stay on top of your game." 2, 4, 7 with a 6. This has the 1 mark in the 2nd game, the strike in the 3rd. And a 7 box, 2 open frames. Well, you heard it from the crowd. Nice time for a double. If he were to throw 2 strikes, that lead will dwindle very, very quickly.
Box 5 now for John. Let's see what he can do.
Light hit, drop of 6. 2, 4, 5, and 7.
We'll try off the ball, take a little time to focus in on his shot. John Bird has been the bowler that luck forgot today. Not had a lot of breaks go his way.
You're absolutely right. When he did get a legitimate spare lead, it seemed like a piece of wood would roll in front and make the shot that much more difficult.
boy.
And it looks like there's about to be a pretty significant deposit in the bank account of Jeff Surette. We'll find out if that's the case. 4 boxes to go. We'll finish them next on TNA. Welcome back to the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge, potentially to be renamed the Jeff Surette Invitational. He's going to likely make it 2 in a row, and who knows what lies ahead in the future next season. He is up by some 53 pins at the moment. 7th box, game 3. He's only to 7. A mark in the 7th. Here's his fill.
Here they come.
9 more to the total. $95 now in this game through 8. John Bird from Adams, Massachusetts.
Just sliding by that 3-pin, which he needed to have a chance of converting the 3, 5, 6, and 10.
10 box instead. Jeff Surette is going to make some history as the first repeat champion on the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge, having won the title in 05, the 04-05 season, now in 05-06. Clearly, luck not on his side.
No. No.
No break, no break.
You got to wonder about what Jeff can do in the future. Relatively young Candlepin bowler, already set the bar very high. There in the 9th, now to his final box, adding to that total.
Textbook right here on the spare, splitting the 3 and the 6.
Watch out, Craig. Not over yet for this triple strike business.
Wouldn't that be something? The very last box? You only can't get all of it. You'll get half of that 1,000 if he could throw 2 more strikes. No. So 2 boxes remain, then.
Craig Holbrook showing some relief on camera. Oh, that's it for Jeff. 134, that second game.
And a 289 total.
Which is just shy, of course, of being...
Earl, one last time, Earl. Come on. Come on, Earl.
289, just 3 shy of Jeff's 292 qualifying score. Final 2 for John.
Oh, boy. We may have one more Earl sighting here before the end of the season.
Yes, we're going to see it one more time. I think this was staged. Very last box.
Written into his contract that he must appear at least once in the championship show, and there you go.
The story rides off into the sunset for the summer. Last box for John Bird. Wasn't the finish John wanted, but he can hold his head high. Can hold his head high and $2,500 richer, and that man right there will collect another $1,000 for the triple strike pool, as well as the $1,000 he won today.
Well, Jeff Surette has done it again, folks. Your repeat champion. Leaving no doubt about it. Coming on strong today for the win. We'll speak with all the bowlers when we come back on the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge. One more look at Earl. Why not? Here's the real star of this show. Back to Woburn for the championship wrap-up, and it's the new champ, same as the old champ. Jeff Surette wins it for a second straight year, and he left little doubt.
Oh, that's right. I mean, halfway through, really the last 4 boxes of the Challengers match is when he regained a little bit of confidence, and then he ran off. I think 12 out of 15 boxes were marked, and he just didn't look back.
We'll speak with Jeff. We'll make the big check presentation of $5,000, but first some real good money going to the runner-ups today. And to handle that, we go to Trina Fernandez. Trina?
We've got Craig Holbrook and John Bird, and Craig, we'll start with you.
Okay.
You pulled well. You have to be happy with how you did.
My whole season, you know, as a combined effort was really good. You know, I'm really happy with what I did. Today, you know, that one stringer is really hard. And with Jeff being on and being a good bowler to begin with, that makes it doubly tough. I can't make any mistakes. I made 2 or 3. That was it. I was gone.
Well, you said going in that you were happy that you were bowling second because you knew what you needed. What do you think about that now?
Well, my bag of tricks didn't have that many left in it. I mean, I did pull off a couple miracle shots, but I needed a little more. I needed to throw a first ball that was more effective, I think.
Well, one string is always tough. How do you go approach that one string when you know it's so important?
It's almost impossible to prepare for it because before you know it, it's over. I mean, you're trying to get a little momentum started, and if you're behind by a lot, it really puts a lot of pressure on you. It's really hard, one string. It's really, really hard.
Well, you have to be happy with the season that you had.
I am. I'm really happy. Ecstatic, even. I was Pro Bowl of the Year on the tour, so I have no complaints. It was really good.
Well, here's nothing to complain about. A check for $2,000 from the ICBA to Craig Holbrook.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And John, oh my. Well, I'll save this to make you smile at the end, because I know you're not smiling too much right now.
Well, it was a tough day. Jeff's a great bowler. So is Craig, as we said earlier, and you have to be fully prepared because even in a 2-game format, you know, one guy gets out there big like Jeff did, it makes you kind of, you know, push a little bit and get your game going. So it was a tough one.
Well, you as well have to be happy with the season that you had, John. I mean, you did very well in all of our shows that you were on.
Well, thank you. I had a good season in league play and in the World Tournament. I did well, and you know, certainly qualifying down here for, you know, a great match against Craig Holbrook was a great thing, and bowling good. A couple of shows here. Just wish I had the good show today.
Well, I think you had a good show. You did fine.
Thank you.
All right, here's something to make you smile. $2,500 for you, John Bird, from the ICBA.
That helps. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks a lot. Okay, now we'll head over to our repeat champion with John and Dan.
Trina, thank you, and thank you for all your work this season on the show. Joined now by the champ, Jeff Surette, and Bob Perella from the Board of Directors of the ICBA, also head of the television committee for the ICBA, with a very important check presentation. Bob?
Thank you very much, John. What a fantastic championship today. We have a repeat champion in Jeff Surette, and on behalf of the International Candlepin Bowling Association, I'm very proud and pleased to present him with this check for $5,000. Congratulations,
Jeff, that's got to be a terrific feeling, 2 years in a row to get the big check, and again against some very talented bowlers.
Oh yeah, luckily, you know, I finished that Challengers match strong, and then I started big string in the first one there and won from there.
I thought, Jeff, you missed a couple single pins early. Confidence was waning a little bit, but then you had a shot at the 6 pin with a piece of wood. You had a choice, you elected to knock the 6-pin down by itself, and I think you regained your confidence and it's off and running then.
Oh, yeah, it's just, you miss 2 and then you get angry and you just stop throwing the ball, and luckily I did stop throwing the ball.
Right after you won, some of your buddies in the crowd are already talking about a three-peat. Is it too early to talk three-peat?
Oh, they can say whatever they want.
And any plans for that $5,000? I know last year it came in handy for you.
Right in the bank.
That's a good way to go. Good way to go. And, of course, good luck going for that three-peat. We'll have you back next season.
Yeah, thank you.
That'll do it for our championship show. Congratulations to the champ, Jeff Surette. For our director, Dave McCarthy, our producer, Chris Larson, my co-host, Dan Murphy, and Tina Fernandez. We thank you for watching the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge, and we'll see you next season. Check cn8.tv for taping dates, and we'll see you again for new programs in October. Have a safe and healthy summer.